there isn't anybody, whatever decision we make, it does seem reasonable in our head. It may not,
At
it
the
may be a
moment, right?
horrible
Yeah,
decision. It
yeah.
may be the worst decision in the world. But at that time, that person, that it seemed like a great idea.
Seemed like a great idea.
Or the only option or whatever, right? And I think that when we can like really develop some self-compassion to be like, oh, and it's not a way of sweeping it under the rug or saying, what I did was right, but it's just a way of being like, oh, I can see how that made sense. And I might not ever make that same decision again, but I can at least understand why I made it to begin with.
Why I made it then, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're looking back and seeing where you were in the world and how you were living in the world and what knowledge you had. There's growth. People grow.
Yeah.
Right. And I do think, just popped into my head too. I think we do need to acknowledge that there is a place for estrangement. That,
yes.
Right. There are
because,
times when that happens.
Yeah, because some relationships are healthiest when there is space. Like we do not need to be close to every single human, right? Just because we're born into that family doesn't mean, right, that's
right. And if there is really abuse in the family, their distance is usually justified.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And
so we do need to acknowledge that, and necessary for healing. Absolutely. So I know clients will come and talk about that too. When is it time to do it? And it's just, again, based on personal experience and story. So yeah, you have to know your story and know whether or not you want to continue down that path of estrangement, whether you want to reconcile. And you and I can help them do that.
Well, and also letting ourselves heal, like giving ourselves space to heal, being nice enough to do it instead of saying, well, no, this has happened and this has happened, so I'm going to make this decision. Do I estrange? Do I not? It's like, no. It's kind of like earlier when we talked about the conversation, how both people have to be ready. It's like we have to be ready until we get some of our own garbage kind of worked through a little bit.
Yeah,
we're not ready to make that decision. That decision will come at the right time.
At the right time. So when is it time to take distance?
We may be estranged today, and we may not be estranged next month or 5 years or 10 years from now. Like we may not. And I know that sounds like incredible. It's like, how would that be? It's like, well, things change. People change. People evolve.
People change.
Life changes.
I can use the word estrangement to talk about, myself. If I'm estranged from my true self, I can't figure things out, right? So estrangement just means I am not connected the way that I want to be, or the way that I feel like I ought to be. I want people to quit shoulding and oughting all over themselves, right? You don't should all over yourselves. But our society does that, right? We should do this, we should do that, we ought to do this. And that's just not really true. But that's a form of your own personal estrangement. If you're stuck in this, it should be this way. This should have happened, blah, 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 right? You need to come, that's where you come back to yourself and figure out how to heal and how to be okay and how to look at all the pieces you were just talking about. Why did I make the decisions I did? Why do I think they made the decisions they did? And try to take the anger out of it and get down to the emotions.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.